Lights out! Now you want to get nuts? Come on! Let's get nuts.
Not working. There we go. What the hell? Gotta love it. Already having technical difficulties. Starting off with a good Monday. What's happening, guys? Welcome to Film Junkee Live. It is September. It's the first day of fall, right? We're in fall now. Surely doesn't feel like it. It's hot as balls still outside, where I'm at least. Let me turn that down just a little bit. Welcome to Film Junkee Live, guys. Hopefully you guys are having a good Monday, a decent Monday. Hit that like, thumbs up. Do all the things. Am I on? Everything's good? Oh, man, that's pretty cool. I just saw something right now. Something to look at when it comes to DCU stuff, for sure. How's it going, guys? Hopefully you had a good weekend. We got Monday Night Football with two pretty bad teams that are playing right. Well, not right now. There's the other teams, right? I don't know. There's the Ravens and the Lions right there. They're not terrible. It's the second game. Isn't there a second game that's happening with two bad teams? I don't know. Anyways, who's out there? Talk to me. Let's see. We got Hard Boiled, Mr. Eric, and the multi-million member Superman Phantom Cries Out one. Finally! I know, Jesus Christ, right? We're going to get some Brainiac going on. Jeez, how long did that take? They wanted to do that for the sequel of the regular Superman. What's going on, Monique? Happy Monday. My maternal unit had dental surgery today, so it's a loaded baked potato. Soup, kind of nice. Nice. Still sounds delicious as always. Clone Avenger, imagine all this teasing and then not getting Brainiac at this point. Been hoping to see Brainiac since the rumored Man of Steel 2, right? What's going on, Taladia? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. It was good talking to you on your stream about PeaceMaker. If you guys didn't check that out, over on Taladia's channel. Me and forgot his name. Totally blanking on his name right there. We talked the first 5 episodes of PeaceMaker, and it was good times. Good times. So good to see you, buddy. Thanks for having me. Of course, we got Arkham Knight 99. What is going on? We got Mr. Dell right here. It's 100% Brainiac. He was teased for Superman 2025. I also think Brainiac potentially manipulated the message from Superman's parents. Superman's parents. Brainiac is Kryptonian tech after all. This, if you watch the first episode of Superman the Animated Series, something like this happens. It's a 3-parter. So technically, but it's like a 3-parter. Last Son of Krypton. Yes, Brainiac does some manipulation too, which I'm kind of wondering, yes. Well, we'll talk about that more, but I'm just saying, I think you might be onto something there, Dell. Starting a new job Friday, awesome. Why on Friday? Why not Monday? Okay, I don't know. I don't know what kind of job it is, but I was just like, Friday of all days. But congratulations, Arkham. Congratulations, man. Hopefully it all work out for you. Caleb, what's going on, sir? We got Mr. Fear Jason as well. All right, Superman. And we got JD McRae right here. It's gotta be. Gilmer. My theory is the big movie star Gunn talked about Batman is Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't like it, but he's a big star. I don't know. Would you think Jake Gyllenhaal still wants to play Batman? Does he still want to play Batman? I've never really liked Jake Gyllenhaal as Batman. I mean, I like Jake Gyllenhaal, and if he ends up being Batman, I would be okay with it. But I don't know. There's something about those eyes that just don't work for me. But hey, Oh, I still got to listen to this Tron soundtrack. Yeah, forgot that was released already. Let's see, we got W Games right here, Lantern, Supergirl, Clayface, Man of Tomorrow, and Batman Part 2. Pretty good lineup. What's your favorite upcoming DC project? I mean, I'm a Batman fan, but, I'm excited for all of them, really. I think I'm most intrigued by Clayface and Lanterns. Supergirl, I think is going to be, a great movie. It's going to be a fun little in the cosmos sci-fi fantasy movie. But, I'm very much looking forward to that. But I don't know. I'm just like really curious about Clayface. Then, of course, I watched the Batman over the weekend on Saturday on Batman Day. After I got done with everything, I put it on. I was just sipping some wine, watching the Batman. I plan on like doing some work while watching the Batman. But that movie it's just so good, man. That movie. Every time I watch it, I'm always just like going, I'm just staring like, eh. And I get it too. I get it why people have some grievances and they're like, well, Batman kind of sucked in this. Yeah, he kind of does. I think that was the point. He didn't figure out shit. He figured out shit, just not in time. Anyways. But I don't mind. I don't care. I still love the movie. What's going on, Versus Seed? We got Mr. Balga. What's up, my friend? That Mando and Grogu poster. Choices were made. Yes. Not quite my tempo. I get that they were trying to do what they were trying to do, but in my opinion, it comes off like it was loaded into AI and spit out the mess. Like, yeah, do like a vintage Indiana Jones old style poster, right? Could have been. You never know. My man, what's going on, Phil? Good to see you, my friend. All right. Unpopular opinion, Jesse Lex is better than Nick. Ooh, no, there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, you're nothing wrong with that. I could certainly see why people don't like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. I see why they don't like, I'm just one of those. Like, I see your point. I know, like, Phil, for instance, totally agree with you. And, to me, I don't know, like, it's just, they're so distinct. I haven't really, I think I might have to watch Superman again just to really see which one is my favorite, because Nicholas Hoult kind of gave me that Lex Luthor that we really haven't seen, that felt a little bit more animated series, but then at the same time, what were we were talking about on the Vodka stream, man. The missed opportunity that we never got was Billy Zane as Lex Luthor. That should have been a thing. That should have 100% been a thing, because he totally embodied the live-action version of the Lex Luthor from Superman the Animated Series. And the fact that didn't happen, it's just a crime. It's an injustice. Mark Strong as Brainiac. I like it. Probably won't happen, but hey. Gus from Breaking Bad, yeah. What's his name? His name's Gus. I know it's Gus in Breaking Bad, but what the fuck is it? Esposito. I can't remember his first name. Giancarlo. That's right. Giancarlo Esposito. That's also a good one. I like that. I don't know. We could start doing some fan castings for that for sure. Anyways, what are we doing here? Is that pretty much it for all the other people? Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you for spending some time with me tonight. Hit that like, thumbs up, share, comments, do all the things, guys. Do all the things. And, like I said, pretty good weekend. Didn't do anything Saturday. I should have went to the comic book shop for Batman Day, but I didn't. I was lazy. I definitely was lazy. Well, no, what can you do? But I always go too late, where they give away all the stuff. It's all you have to get there early, and I wasn't going to get there early. But like I said, I did Taladia Plays a stream, and then, got a lot of things done that I wanted to get done, because my next few weekends are just loaded up. They're just loaded up. And, I apologize, too, because obviously, when it comes to members and Patreon, I do want to do another Saturday version of the Vodka stream. And right now, my Saturdays have just been kind of busy, so we'll figure that out. We'll do that where you guys can, if you guys subscribe to the Patreon or the membership, you guys can come on and have some fun talking on the Saturday version of the Vodka stream. Anyways, all right, I'm rambling. Let's get started with some tweets. Let's see, what do we got here? All right, let's talk about this. Hey, yo, Sylvester Stallone. He's a little crazy. Sylvester Stallone. That's right, Sylvester Stallone. Obviously, we have a Rambo prequel series. I think that's what's going to be happening. It's a series, right? And Noah Centineo is actually, I guess he's in talks. That hasn't been official yet, but he's going to be playing young Rambo, supposedly. But, Sylvester Stallone, this is a character that, that put him on the map. I mean, I would say that it put him on the map, and then so did Rocky. Rocky was more, and I would say that Rocky was a little bit more near and dear to his heart, because he actually created that character. He didn't exactly create Rambo. Now, First Blood, the novel is different from the movie, naturally. That's the way it always is. But then it got turned into like a franchise. They went from just a guy surviving and having PTSD and having this small town law enforcement go after him and him just like turning into this, soldier that he is. And then it turned into just, hey, how ripped can I get as Rambo, and how many bad guys can I shoot? I mean, that's essentially what it turned into, the Rambo series. I mean, obviously, Stallone and Schwarzenegger, they were literally having bets on how many guys that they would kill in their movies and how big and shredded they would get. I always said that Sylvester Stallone was more shredded than Schwarzenegger, but Schwarzenegger was bigger. He had bigger arms, bigger everything, but Stallone got shredded, like it was just like peeled. He was like negative body fat. Anyways, that's besides the point. But check this out. Sylvester Stallone says he wanted to direct a Rambo prequel himself by making it with AI and also de-aging himself. Everyone thought I was crazy. Yes, that is crazy. Yes, that is crazy, Sly. That would be very much crazy if you did that. Nobody would like it. Nobody would really like that. Not at all. I get it. You still want to play the character. But I would say Last Blood was like, that was your like swan song, whatever the hell you want to call it. That was it. Last Blood was actually decent. It was. I think the one prior to that was better. But I would say Last Blood was pretty good. But just imagine. See, when I read that, all I could think about was The Irishman. Do you guys remember The Irishman when they de-aged? When they de-aged Robert De Niro, so they made his face look younger, but his body was still moving like a 70-year-old Robert De Niro when he was trying to punch somebody and kick him. It was like, wait, you're supposed to be like in your 40s, and you're moving around like you're an old man. I mean, that's the thing. And even though Sylvester Stallone is, kept shape for the most part, he's still be moving like an old man. So it just would not work. That would not work, Sly. That'd be pretty crazy. But I hope he's involved in some form, at least, when it comes to this prequel thing. I don't know. If he is, maybe. I don't know. Clayface! So this is not DCU news, but Digimang keeps on making these openings for the movies, the projects in the DCU that keep coming. And we keep on saying, hey, Jimmy Guns, you want to just like have each character have their first appearance opening when it comes to DC Studios logo. It's one of those decisions where we kind of all went, why not just do that? But Digimang made one for Clayface, and it's pretty damn interesting. There he is. And then just see that last little get back, and then like he shifts. There you go, morph right into that. So that was like kind of interesting because they could have did the other version of Clayface, but they decided to keep it like that. So that's pretty cool. Noah is a nepotism kid. Oh, I didn't know that. His dad is a producer. Yeah, that's always gonna happen. It's always gonna happen, no matter what. As long as you could prove yourself, I guess. As long as you could prove yourself. Dave Bautista. Did you know that Dave Bautista was originally going to be starring as PeaceMaker? That's right. Did I say Pacemaker? Peacemaker? Well, now he's probably wearing... No, I'm just kidding. He's not that old. What am I saying? But PeaceMaker, yes. He was actually going to be PeaceMaker. James Gunn wanted him to be PeaceMaker in the Suicide Squad. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a Dave Bautista PeaceMaker now that we've seen John Cena play the character now in, 1.5 seasons in Suicide Squad? But this is what he had to say right here. Dave Bautista says he wanted to play PeaceMaker but couldn't because of scheduling conflicts. It was a blessing in disguise. There's no way I would have been able to do the role like John Cena. He's just perfect for it. I wouldn't have done it justice. It wouldn't have been as successful. And I love the fact that he said that because we were talking about that on the Vodka stream where sometimes, things don't work out when it comes to initially who you want to play these characters. Doesn't work out. You get somebody else and it ends up being a perfect little fit. I mean, we could talk about so many times. We were talking about Will Smith. The Wachowskis wanted Will Smith to be Neo. And I don't think any one of us would think that's a good idea now after seeing what Keanu Reeves did and seeing those movies. That just wouldn't have fit. Just wouldn't have fit. And then another one that comes to mind is Hugh Jackman wasn't supposed to be Wolverine. It was supposed to be that one dude, I always forget his name, that was the bad guy in Mission Impossible 2, and that's the reason Dougray Scott or something like that. I don't know. But the bad guy in Mission Impossible 2, and because he was doing that movie, he couldn't do X-Men, so then they called up Hugh Jackman, and he had like 2.5 weeks to prepare, and then look what happened. I mean, it's just a bunch of things like that where it just ends up working out. Can you imagine some of these roles where it's just like, geez. But yeah, John Cena just wouldn't have worked. John Cena just wouldn't have worked, I don't think. I don't think it just would have fit. I just really don't think it would have fit. Of course, we talked about that. All right, everyone in this chat. Oh, here we go. We got somebody in there already. It's probably, I don't know if it's my stalker guy, but could be. Could be. Stalker troller guy. And then, of course, in honor of Batman Day, Matt Reeves posted this. I feel so honored to be preparing to shoot the next chapter of our story. This character means so much to me. What a privilege. Can't wait to share lots of exciting things about the movie with you all in the weeks and months to come. Oh, I can't wait until we find out who the hell is in this. Who is this? But yeah, he posted this, of course. Oops, wrong thing. Oh, man. I love that theme. I love that theme so much. It just works. It fits. It fits so good. Fits so well. Just good stuff. You have Dougray Scott. He was also Jacob Kane in Batwoman. That's right. I thought I heard he was in Batwoman. I'll never forgive you guys for letting Furiosa bomb at the box office. How dare you? How dare you guys not do that? Because now we were kind of wondering, okay, what's going to happen with supposedly the Mad Max sequel that is Wasteland that everybody was like hoping for. Well, not all hope is lost, but at the same time, it's like, damn it, I still want to. It's going to be interesting because apparently, according to the Mad Max Bible, George Miller's Mad Max: The Wasteland is being reworked as an HBO Max series. Now, does that mean the quality goes down? Not necessarily. I don't know if George Miller is going to be 100% directing it all. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But that's kind of interesting. I mean, they could definitely flesh some things out, but I don't know. Do we actually need it to be a series? How long is the series going to be? Is Tom Hardy going to be coming back? Is Charlize Theron going to come back? There's a lot of questions when I saw this. I don't even know how fully legit it is. Fully legit, but it's cool. I'll accept it. Long as we're going to be, getting. And then for Batman Day, I posted on Twitter my top favorites in order of versions of Batman. And I think you guys can guess pretty much how I feel. So obviously, number 1, animated series Batman, 100%. Number 2, Batfleck, because just look at that. That is just amazing looking. Number 3, Keaton. Number 4, Lego Batman. Hell yeah. Why not? And you know who number 5 is, right? You guys know who number 5 is? It's Casual Batman. What happened to that guy? That guy's been missing for a bit. I don't know. Maybe he should come back soon, huh? Maybe Casual Batman should come back soon? Could be something. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, we could talk about that. Bring him back. Yeah, I know, right? He's in a hole somewhere. That's what happened. He got himself in trouble. All right. What else we got? I think that's we got this right here. Paramount's licking their chops. They're licking their lips, man. They're going like, oh man. Look at the numbers right there when it comes to distributors, when it comes to the studios, when it comes to 2025, because Warner Brothers is killing it this year. As you can see right here, they are leading. They are leading when it comes to the top 5 at $1.76 billion. just edging out Disney with that has $1.58 billion, Universal with $656.5 million, Sony 44.5, and then Paramount's at the bottom with $397.9. So yeah, they're like, we want to buy some Warner Brothers. Big time. Yeah, Netflix ain't going to get that shit. Come on. That whole thing came out and it was just more of a, really? They're going to actually, that's going to be a thing? Because then, of course, it riled up that certain, that certain side of the fandom, which I already gave my grievances out of there, out of all that on the Vodka stream. So, but yeah, Warner Brothers is just, yeah, Bale is your favorite? I like Bale. I like Bale too. I don't dislike any Batman, really. It was just, that's how I was feeling. I almost put Robert Pattinson in there because I was watching the Batman. I almost put Robert Pattinson in there because I like his Batman as well. So many things. And we can now relax, folks. Can we relax? Everybody can stop freaking out and everybody can just go back to, well, worrying more about political violence as opposed to a rich late-night talk show getting his show canceled. Jimmy Kimmel Live will return to ABC tomorrow. Yay! There. We can all relax now, guys. Yes. I think Jimmy Kimmel, no matter what, would have been okay. Guy's got a lot of money, but hey, I know. It's worse than what happened the week before, right? Anyways, no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing because that whole thing was getting a little wonky. And I know there's been I love that I'm politically homeless because the hypocrisies and everything that I've been seeing from both sides, and I'm just kind of going like, good Lord, everybody, especially when it came to this. And I'm just like, I don't think his show's going to last too much longer anyways. I don't know when his contract's up, but I guarantee you he won't be coming back after that because, his ratings were not stronger than Colbert's. And if Colbert was already losing a bunch, then, they're just going to ride this thing out. I think they're just going to ride this thing out. I don't know. I keep on saying late night is dead. Sadly, it died with Conan. It died when Conan left. I think the last two greats were Conan and Ferguson because, those guys were just, great. They were great. Absolutely fantastic. So I think it's a good thing when people go what the hell? That you shouldn't get it back. I'm like, it's wishy-washy because, there's the whole, free speech thing, freedom of speech, all that. We all want that, right? We all want that. And, obviously before, when people were losing their platforms on YouTube and Twitter and all that stuff, everybody was like, hey, the companies can do whatever they want. Now that it's on this side, now the other side's going, hey, they can do whatever they want, which is actually absolutely true. But when the FCC starts getting involved and everything, that's where it starts getting a little wonky. And then I kept seeing that Trump was the one that was doing it. And I'm like, no, he wasn't. They want that guy to be a fascist so much, and he's not doing that. But it's besides the point. People don't know what words mean anymore, but I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing because he should say whatever the hell he wants, and I hope he continues to say whatever the hell he wants. Now, if consequences happen, that's what happens. That's just what happens. But I think if you're going to be picky and choosy on who gets canceled and who doesn't, that's where it gets a little wonky for me. I just full-on freedom of speech kind of thing. What he said, he misinformed people, as a lot of people do on television, apparently. And he made a joke about Trump and everything. People were making it seem like he made a joke about Charlie Kirk and whatever. He didn't. He just made a joke about Trump's reaction to this one clip, and it was whatever. The people were just people on this side were rearranging. I don't know. It's all just pretty crazy. So it's, but I don't think he's going to last too much longer. I don't know when his contract's up, but I guarantee you he ain't getting it renewed. That's for damn sure. I don't know. Just like Colbert, he's going to be done after next year. He's going to ride that contract out. I think they're just going to ride the contracts out and not renew them. That sounds like the case. I think all of them are going to go bye-bye. Maybe not Jimmy Fallon. I don't know what his numbers are. Seems like he's the more popular one, but then I thought Colbert was. I don't know. It's all a little wonky. It's all pretty crazy. It's all pretty crazy. Now we got Obama 2.0 in there. I would have never done this. No, you did it to Roseanne Barr. Remember when she got canceled off her own show? Yeah, for saying things. Yeah. Anyways, Zach Krager confirms he has plans, and it's happening apparently, because you know it's happening. Zach Krager confirms he plans to direct a weapons prequel about Aunt Gladys. It's real, and I've been talking to Warner Brothers about it. There's a story, and I'm pretty excited about it. And that's not bullshit. All right. I love that. Yeah. I love that. You know what? Bring on some more Aunt Gladys. I know some people are like, no, don't do that. I just trust Zach Krager at this point. You know, I'm just like, okay, I like this guy's brain. If he has more to the story, I'm kind of curious of where that story goes, because you don't really get too much. Like, where did her little plant thing come from? Why does she have these? Where does she come from when it came to these little like voodoo abilities that she had and everything? So I'm very curious when it comes to all that. So I would be okay with more and having a prequel. I know some people are like, why? But I'm going, why not? I'm good with it. So, and we got another show that got canceled. What are we doing here, guys? Another show got canceled. Is this Trump again? Is this the FCC? What the F? I am so upset right now because Catfish, the TV show, has officially been canceled by MTV after 9 seasons. 9 seasons? Wait a minute. Am I like in a... When did that show start? I could have sworn that show started way before that. Did it like go on a break for a bit and then come back? Is that what happened? And is that why there's only 9 seasons? That show started in like the 2000s, right? I'm like, so I was like kind of like, what the hell? And then my next question is, who is getting catfished in 2025? How is that even a thing? I mean, Jesus Christ. You have literal technology that could prove anything. If you're talking to somebody, you can just be like, hey, can you just like get on a video call with me right now? Can we just get on a video call? That's all you have to say. You just go, let's get on a video call. That's it. That's all you got to do. Or if they don't want to do that, send me a video with today's date or something, or a thumbs up, or I don't know. You can do so many things to prove it. Now, of course, now with AI getting stronger and better, that's where it's going to get a little wonky, and I guarantee you this fucking show is going to end up coming back once that shit starts running rampant. Because I remember hearing a story. There was a story where this woman, this poor older woman, lonely woman, she thought she was talking to Keanu Reeves. And she got sent voice messages that sounded like Keanu Reeves talking to her. Pretty sad. And she ended up sending thousands and thousands of dollars to this person that was pretending to be Keanu Reeves. So again, now the technology is going to start doing that. And I guarantee you they're going to revamp this show because of things like that. But I just thought, right now, I don't know how anybody could get catfished right now. Unless, they post something on the dating site or something and the picture looks good and then you show up and, fucking Jabba the Hutt shows up. It's like that stuff could happen. So, but Catfish, like how this stuff was, man. Catfish, the movie came out in 2010. And wow, why did I think it was so much earlier than that? Jeez, I thought it was like the 2000s. There's a YouTube channel called Social Catfish, and it's ran by a couple of California who own a cybersecurity company, and they do. Oh wow, it's just crazy to me that people are still getting catfished nowadays. But I mean, that's the thing. People get lonely, they don't think about it. It's all crazy. It's all pretty crazy. That's still dumb. Why does Keanu Reeves exactly? But she still did it because she was a lonely, What's Chris Hansen doing these days? Oh, he's still doing Catch a Predator stuff. He's still very much doing the How to Catch a Predator stuff. Why don't you have a seat there? I always loved watching Chris Hansen and seeing the outcome. Even though the Fresno police were like, you could tell the Fresno police in How to Catch a Predator, you could tell the Fresno police that they used never saw any action, because when they would, when the guy would walk back to his car and the police would show up, they would fucking tackle him as if they were on the goal line and they were trying to prevent a fucking touchdown. They would tackle the guy down, and just like, I'm surprised there wasn't lawsuits. I was like, Jesus Christ, guys, relax. It's not like he's not armed, he's not dangerous, he's just a sick fuck. It was just like pretty crazy. Like, hey, you're free. That's what I always loved. You're free to go. You're free to go. He'd always say you're free to go. But then it was just like those guys would get so violent. Because you could tell, like, oh yeah, they don't see much action, do they? Get your head, get down on the ground, get down on the ground. Poof, just knock him down, pull him down. It was like, watch out. You're like, I get it. He's a deranged fuck, but he's not gonna do anything. I think he'll be all right. Anyone seen that one confronting Booty Warrior on? Oh no, I didn't see that. Booty Warrior. That's funny. Dude's a lot older. Yeah. Well, yeah. I lost audio. Did I lose audio? Uh-oh. Did I lose audio? What the hell? I was about to say, I see the thing, I see my microphone thing going, so. Jeez. Come on, guys. Make sure it's not your stuff before you start freaking me out. Come on. All right. It's all right. Let's see. What do we got here? All good, dude. All good. All right, so let's start off with some DCU news. There's not really like, okay, I'm trying to go back. Obviously, a lot of Batman Day stuff. Superman. So, DCU news time, of course. Gotta yell it out to everybody to make sure that everybody knows it's DCU time. But if you guys want to have that director's commentary when it comes to Superman, and if you purchase the film on the actual hard copy and digital on September 23rd, you'll be able to get that James Gunn commentary track, which should be interesting, because James Gunn loves to talk about that shit. He's really good at talking about this shit. So if you want to get the director's commentary by September 23rd, which is tomorrow, you'll be able to get the director's commentary, which is pretty cool. Then, sorry, I had a little burp. Then they released this when it came to Lego Batman. I'm not going to watch the whole thing because it's 8 minutes long.
Is there something innate about Batman that makes him so beloved across the entire world? A tragic story that is being transformed into something good? Or is it that Batman has attracted some of the greatest artists in all mediums, comic books, gaming, film, television, that have told a story about this character, and because of that, his legend has grown and grown? I think the answer is both.
Yes. Building the legacy.
It's always interesting to me how different creatives can do something really unique with Batman using the same building blocks.
Years ago at TT, we made the first Lego Batman game. That was so special for us. But now, with Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, we are able to draw upon the whole history of that wonderful character and distill decades of fantastic storytelling to really immerse players in the experience of becoming the Dark Knight.
I took the liberty of making some adjustments.
I'm not going to watch the whole thing. Like I said, it's 8 minutes long, so that's quite a bit. But yeah, watch it if you haven't already. It was posted on the official Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight Twitter account. So, and then of course you could probably find it on Warner Brothers DC YouTube. So yeah, pretty cool. Obviously for Batman Day. But, again, this is why what James Gunn said right there, just how he was speaking right there, I'm like going, this is why he got the job. And then you got Jim Lee talking about that as well, which is awesome. And then, let's see, what else we got? Speaking of Batman, the Schumacher cut. Is the Schumacher cut ever going to come out? Maybe eventually. It seems like it would be a no-brainer. All they have to do is just kind of clean up the deleted footage, inject it into the regular footage, and tweak some things, add some score, maybe some sound effects, all that stuff. It's not gonna. It's when people think that all they have to do is just release it. It's like, no, they still have to spend money on restoring the footage and doing a bunch of things. It's still gonna probably cost, I don't know, $1 million, $2 million, probably. I don't know how much it would actually cost. It didn't seem like it would be much, but I don't know. I really don't know. But we got Mr. I think is Mr. Michael Uslan right here, because there was actually a screening of Batman Forever that happened over the weekend for Batman Day, and a Q&A with Mr. Uslan right here, and this is what he had to say.
Did have extended footage on this movie. He did have extended footage in this movie. And the thing about this is, and especially here talking with the folks at the studio, they don't have like a magic wand or a switch to just flip on and off and say, okay, boom, here's the Schumacher cut. It's something that's going to involve significant restoration and investment. What I say to my fellow fans, and I am one of you, I've always been one of you, is it's really important to express your passion in a very nice way, and continue to send cards and emails into the good folks at Warner Brothers, because one thing that I know they are doing now is listening and reading. So let's keep the support going. If that's how you feel, express your passion.
Uslan, can you say that to the Sell and Restore fuckers? Because they need to, like, probably realize, you know, because those guys throw shit and piss at Warner Brothers, hoping that they come crashing down. Hopefully that James Gunn gets fired and everything. But give me my Snyderverse. Which makes, I'm still trying to find the logic in that. I don't know the logic in wanting the studio to, like, just crumble and die, but you want them to give you what you... Wow. Holy shit. I just don't get that. But I see what he had to say right there. And see how people actually, like, laughed a little bit also? We're like, ask nicely, and then people are like, because they're probably thinking about those guys. Sadly. And people wonder, like, hey, geez, why you go after Snyder fan? I'm like, because of stuff like that. That's why. Because when I go to my For You page on Twitter and I see the vitriol shit that is tweeted, tagged with James Gunn and Warner Brothers, that's why. But what he said is good. And luckily, the people who are doing the Schumacher cut campaigns, they are nice. They don't throw piss and shit at Warner Brothers. They don't want Warner Brothers to fail. The guys that are running it are nice guys. They just keep running campaigns, posting clips, posting this and posting that, and doing all the right things, which is good. But, you know, like I said, who knows when it's gonna, if it I think eventually we'll see it. We just had the 30th anniversary. I don't know. And like I said, if you're part of all that and you want to write letters, you want to write emails, you want to do all that. I know I don't do a lot of it. I occasionally do release the Schumacher cut hashtag, but I don't like 100% do that. But hey, I do want to see it though. It should be resolve the Snyderverse. Yeah, that makes it better. Yeah, that makes it better. I'm sure that'll make those guys, you know, tweet nice things after that. Anyways, okay. Yeah, or just make it a graphic novel. That's what I said. But those guys, anytime that I bring that up on Twitter, I get swarmed by those guys. Deleted scene of Superman. What? Yeah, we got a deleted scene of Superman that was released online. I don't know if I should watch it all because I'm probably going to get that copyright thing. But I'm sure you guys saw it. I don't want to show the whole thing, but it has to do with Mr. Terrific because he's awesome. So he's at the Meteors baseball park, and this is where he goes to get. Yes, you saw this. We saw them film this scene. We thought maybe it was just for the commercial. But yes, this is where he goes and gets crypto. Hey. So they just kind of tweaked it where they're like, all right, just to cut off the fat. We saw this part right here. We did see crypto right here like this, but it wasn't, you know, Mr. Terrific getting him and doing this shot right here. Yeah. And then naturally he gets bit. It's like, yeah, of course you have to do that. At least he didn't pee on him, all right? That's the one thing that I was like, thank you, like, please, James Gunn, do not have Crypto pee on anyone. Let's not do that. Let's not have him lift up a leg and all of a sudden he has like a super stream and he just pisses, and a bunch of the fucking, bad guys just get knocked over. Don't do that. Thank God he didn't. But, Mr. Terrific did get bit. So basically what this scene is showing us here is Crypto is racist. All right, moving on. I couldn't help myself. Jesus Christ, guys. Okay. All right, here we go. Now, cancel Crypto. Man of Tomorrow. So now the hype's there, guys. The hype is there. It's come. We knew that there was obviously James Gunn was working on Man of Tomorrow, and we're all kind of wondering what's going to be part of Man of Tomorrow. We know that Lex Luthor and Superman are going to have to team up to take on a bigger threat, and the tone of Man of Tomorrow is supposed to be less comic booky than the first one, which is good because I'm just kind of going like, yeah, Jimmy Gunn's, you got that one out of the way. There was a lot of pressure, which he expressed, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. He expressed how much pressure there was to write that first Superman, but the second one's going to be, it was a lot easier to do, and the tone's going to be a lot less comic booky. And yes, I think we can 100% see that Brainiac is going to be that bigger threat by him putting that image on the cover of the script. Second draft, yes, he already rewrote it, and now there it is right there. And I like the fact that, it's lowercase, Man of Tomorrow, written by James Gunn, created. Doesn't look that thick though, so I don't think it's going to be, it probably will be longer than Superman, I'd imagine. But yeah, that's pretty cool. He also mentioned, because he was on the Two Bears, One Cave podcast that showed today, I listened to it. He also mentioned that when it came to him doing the next script, he already had ideas and all this stuff. He actually put in when he was making sure that he got like the actual full-on pitch ready and everything, like, looking pretty good. He said he inserted shots like comic book panels from certain books that he put in there. So not only did he have like his outline, his whole treatment, which was really long already, he started inserting comic book panels, which is pretty sweet. So Biology 101, Superman, yeah. So you know what's kind of interesting? I was thinking about that Brainiac. There's a Brainiac and Lex Luthor episode of Superman the Animated Series. I forgot what it was called, but it's a really good episode because it actually does involve Bruce Wayne. I don't think that's what's going to happen here, but it was just kind of interesting where essentially Lex Luthor is like held hostage in LexCorp to basically create a body for Brainiac. I don't know if they're going to be doing something like that, but it was just something kind of interesting. But then I started thinking, well, if PeaceMaker is actually going to be leading into, if it's going to actually be setting some things up for Man of Tomorrow, I'm willing to bet that there's going to be something has to do with that pocket dimension, right? There's going to be a door that maybe Brainiac's going to tap into or something. I don't know. And then, like I said, what was saying in the chat earlier about maybe Brainiac is the one that fucked with the Superman's parents recording and all the stuff about him just like, hey, procreate, doing all that stuff. And Jor-El was like, yeah, man, get you some, make babies. Maybe that could be something with that. But then I'm like going, okay, it's what if like are we gonna see like we always talk about how he's got the miniature, the city of Kandor, right? Like he's got it miniaturized. What if we end up seeing something like that? We see a miniaturized city. I don't know if it'll be Kandor or anything, but I don't know. It's just could we be seeing something like that in PeaceMaker? Who knows? It's all pretty crazy. It's all up in the air, but then I'm like, okay, well, what's gonna happen with Lex? Because he's at Belle Reve. We know that. And we're probably going to see Lex in PeaceMaker. I don't know. A lot of questions, but I'm excited. Of course. Of course. And then keep it on Superman when it comes to things that are coming out, when it comes to bonus features. So, deleted scenes, bedroom kiss. What? Lambard in the T-Craft, Mr. Terrific and Crypto. So those are the deleted scenes right there, director's commentary, and of course a gag reel. And then you get this Superman art right here, which looks pretty sweet. I love that because I love the fact that the emblem looks like the door to the Fortress of Solitude. Very good art. I love it when they blend stuff in like that. And then, of course, Crypto's right there and the Superman bots. Just looking pretty sweet. Love that art. Love that art. And there you go. That's what it's going to be. Gag reel. Gag reel should be fun, right? Gag reels are always fun. Every movie should have a gag reel. Shouldn't it? Shouldn't every movie have a gag reel? Even like the super dramatic ones. Wouldn't that be crazy? Holy Lord. All right. Now let's see a clip. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's look at this clip right here.
That's what I think that.
Okay, so yeah, everyone should. You need to bring back. Yeah, some still do that during the credits a little bit. What if Brainiac teased in the finale of PeaceMaker? I have a feeling he's going to be. I have a feeling that we're going to get a Brainiac tease. Yeah, I think you're onto something there, Ray. So James Gunn was on Two Bears, One Cave podcast, which is usually just a podcast with Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura. I've been listening to this podcast ever since the beginning because I like those two. And I listen to it every Monday. And I was like, I go up to my YouTube page on my TV, and sure enough, it's like, James Gunn. And I was like, oh, shit, that's cool. And again, this is what's great is James Gunn is doing this stuff. He's keeping the conversation going. He's keeping all this going. The dude's a workaholic. He even expresses that in this podcast, too, that when he took the job, that maybe it was, he didn't realize how much of a job it was going to be. He didn't really realize how much it's going to be. And then he even said his wife wasn't too pleased at first when, and that kind of, yeah, you don't want to be pissing off Harcourt, right? But, hey, you do what you got to do, and, he seems to be handling it. But they did specifically talk about Batman. Now, in this little clip, when this is about 2 minute and 43 second clip where he's talking about Batman, the DCU Batman, and then what's going to be happening when it comes to the Batman. So let's run through this one real quick right here.
That's what I think. That's one of the fun things about Batman, though, is that there are so many expressions of Batman that are cool.
Yes.
And different ways to access that character is one of the ways in which he's so iconic. So I don't think it's a matter of the blue and the gray or the black Batman.
So basically, Tom Segura asked him, are we going to get the blue and gray suit for Batman? Because that's what he wants to see. And that's what a lot of people want to see. I wouldn't mind seeing it too, even though we got a little glimpse of it when it came to The Flash.
I think both those things are really cool. I like the detective Batman, but I also really like the fighter Batman that's just the brute that's fighting. I like the silly 50s Silver Age Batman with Batmite, and that's kind of closer to what the original Batman TV show was like. I like all of these different, versions of Batman. But I will say, in the same way that was your experience with Batman, that was my experience with Batman too as a kid, because I'm older than you, reading the sort of early 70s Neil Adams Batman comics that were much darker and grittier.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I like this Batman, I had seen the sillier Batman. I'd seen the sillier Batman on TV, and I'm like, oh, this is gritty, cool Batman. And that was the thing that made me feel more like, if not an adult, at least a teenager.
Yeah.
8 or 9 years old.
It makes you feel like a little more grown up.
Yeah, and I really liked that about, I really still like that version of, I like that version of Batman that was sort of a Batman that we've never seen. There it is right there. See that one on the upper left corner? That's the one.
That one there?
That's it, man. That was my favorite story. That was in a compilation of Batman comics that I read. I just thought it was the greatest ever. And it was Batman, supernatural Batman too, which is something we've never seen Batman in like a sort of supernatural environment.
Were you like a huge consumer of, like, were you like voracious?
It was my life.
It was your life.
It was my life.
So this
I
is
was
like destiny, is what it feels like, kind of.
Well, I think a lot of people had that as their life that are not the head of DC Studios.
That's true. But it's cool that the person who is the head does come from that DNA.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, I spent so much of my childhood skipping school, staying home, and drawing comics. And the main things one of the main things I drew were these characters in comics with Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So I drew like DC comics, and I had, all my own characters who I liked to have teaming up with Batman.
That's so cool, dude. When you
There you go. He also, well, let's see if I can find that clip. There was like more to it when it came to, that was more of him just talking about his love for Batman. I think there's like another clip. If somebody clipped it out, probably not. But I could. Is that more of it? No. Oh yeah. We're talking about the white eyes. So here we go. So then he was talking about the white eyes right here.
Important to me.
No, of course.
What matters is like the character, the story, and I think that we have a really, really good story now for what's happening with Batman.
Dude, I'm so stoked.
Yeah.
That was like, for me, I think, age-wise, like
Okay, so yeah, that was just like, I didn't really talk about it right there, but he did say that they have a really good story. But yeah, he essentially pretty much said what Zach said on Rogan when it came to how fans treat this shit like it's religion, because he said in this podcast that basically he'll have somebody go like, hey, please give me the gray and blue bat suit, and then give me the oval bat logo emblem, please give me that. And then somebody underneath it said, fuck that, no way, that's trash, and blah blah blah. And then of course there's the white eyes and there's nothing. And he was basically saying like, well, that's important, but it's not as important as the story and the character. Again, I'm like going, geez, James Gunn, this fucking hack. I swear, this hack right here, handling the DCU like he's handling it, saying the things that he's saying. Jeez, fire James Gunn. All right, yeah, let's start firing up that hashtag. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. When he was a kid, he used to draw comics and put Batman in them all the time. Good Lord, why is he running DC Studios? But yeah, so he was talking about that. He even said that when it came to casting, he said casting Superman much harder than casting Batman. That's also what he said. He said casting Superman way harder than Batman. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense because he said that because Batman wears a mask. You have to have somebody with a Superman face, and then that Superman face has to, be Superman. And he named off, like, look at all the actors. They all have Superman face. And that was one of the things that I remember when David Corenswet got cast as Superman, and everybody was like, he just cast somebody that looks like Cavill. And I went, hey, over here, right here. He cast somebody that looks like Superman. Because Zack Snyder also cast somebody that looks like Superman. That's crazy shit, isn't it? That's so crazy. Yeah, so he did a lot of talking about that. Like I said, listen to that podcast. It's pretty cool because, he doesn't just talk about that stuff, but he talks, he talks a lot. He was talking a lot about taking on the job. And this is what I like about these guys going on podcasts, as opposed to just quick interviews, quick press junkets. Yeah, you can get some good stuff in there. But when they actually go on a podcast and sit down with somebody, and I like it because Tom Segura, he's a comedian. He hosts comedic podcasts, but the fact that he'll have guests on and just talk to him because he respects them and likes them and everything. And then he can ask different questions from a different perspective. And I love the fact that Tom was like, he's a big old Batman fan. And he was like, let's talk about Batman. And then we got these, little clips right here. So that's pretty much it. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there was really much else when it came to all that. But, like I said, good stuff. Good stuff. Cavill kind of looks like Tom Welling's cousin. Yeah, they all look like each other. That's the thing. I would say Dean Cain probably looks, when it comes to, some of the live action ones, he probably looks the less, less like Superman, but still looks like Superman, right? You know, for reasons. But, and again, it's so funny how Dean Cain, who is a diehard conservative, it was progressive when he got cast as Superman, being half Asian. Maybe they're clones. Yeah, they make them all in a lab. It's crazy. David Cornswet looks like Welling and Cavill's son. Yeah. But it was just, I remember when people are freaking out, they might as well just cast Cavill. They cast somebody that looks like Cavill. I'm like, no, they cast somebody that looks like Superman. And again, I love it when James Gunn said that in that podcast. You have to cast somebody with Superman face. He actually said that. You got to have Superman face, and then you have to have that face be Superman. You know, yeah, you could look like him and whatever, and he talked, again, we could go over the entire thing, but it's like over an hour, you know, and stuff. I'm not going to go over the entire podcast, but he said some really cool things about the casting process. You know, he said that, you know, what's interesting is he actually said, you know, that it's coming to me right here. He said that the first actor that he saw like in another movie, he didn't say who it was, but he was like, ooh, that guy looks like he could be Superman. Give me an audition, you know, give me a tape or something from that guy. And when he saw the audition for it, didn't work. It just didn't work. He watched it and went, that didn't work. Second audition tape he watched, David Cornswet. So David Cornswet was the second audition tape that he watched. Shows you right there. But he still had to do the thing. He still had to do the thing of watching all the audition tapes, and then of course doing the screen test with the lowest actors and everything. So, kind of cool. Kind of cool that David Cornswet was the second audition tape that James Gunn looked at. Oh, we got somebody. What the hell is that? Interesting. All right, I think that's all the DCU news. If I'm not mistaken, I think we're good. 14-20 Lions. Or no, Ravens. Who scored? I'm not. Am I getting any points here? Am I getting any points? Nah, doesn't look like I'm getting any points. So I don't think, because I have Flowers. Yeah, I have Flowers on my fantasy team. Okay, I'm rambling. Let's move on to the MCU. We got a couple things when it comes to the MCU. My God. First off, we got something pretty interesting. A lot of people were kind of going, well, there's a couple of things. Okay, so first, I had to make this joke. I had to make this joke online because it was just pretty funny. First off, you know, okay, so we had this right here, so I had to make the. It's just like, it's funny because this is nothing from Scoopers or anything like that. This is actually an actual quote from Alan Cumming when it comes to Avengers Doomsday. Okay, I'm gonna read this quote and just again, this is why I'm so happy that Jimmy Guns is taking a different approach to his universe. Alan Cumming confirms that Avengers Doomsday was filmed with a script. We eventually saw a script. It took a while, but we had a script. What the F? Eventually. Oh yeah, I signed on and everything, and eventually we had a script. The dude is making it seem like the Avengers Doomsday script was like spotting Bigfoot out in the wild. Jesus Christ. That's crazy. This is like this probably is going to be the biggest movie of 2026. And they're filming it and they don't even have a script. The actors aren't seeing a script. What are they telling them to do? So weird. They eventually saw the script. So what the fuck were they being told to do? Was Alan Cumming just like dancing in front of a green screen? Just, you know, doing Nightcrawler things? You know, I don't know. Is that what he does? No. It's so weird. So eventually. That's just really crazy to me right there. And then keeping on the Avengers. So we got a couple of things here. Hold on. I got something That's something I probably shouldn't even show. But I'm going to show it quickly. Maybe. Okay, so first off we have Giovanna Ponzi, hair and makeup. She does hair and makeup, and Avengers Doomsday has wrapped initial production. Of course, there's going to be pickups. There's going to be reshoots. At least they're going to have plenty of time to do those VFX. That's the good thing, okay? So we have like over a year for them to complete the visual effects for Avengers Doomsday, which is good because we kept on hearing those horror stories when it comes to the VFX houses for Marvel Studios working overtime and sleeping there and not getting enough sleep and blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's not going to let me. Okay. So she decided, hey, fuck it. I'm going to post this, and here we go. She posted this bag right here that shows a bunch of characters from Avengers Doomsday. Of course, leading off right there with Doom, with Dr. Doom himself, we got our Fantastic Four lined up right here, and it looks like they're wearing jackets. They're wearing jackets this time. We got Thor. We got Captain America. Sam Wilson, Captain America. We got Ant-Man. We got Bucky. We got Black Panther, of course. What's her name? Totally drawn a blank. We got Shang-Chi. We got Loki. I'm guessing this right here is Yelena. We can't really see her. And we got, of course, the Red Guardian. And then we got, I think it's, what's his name? Baku or whatever. Not sure who this is. Not quite sure who that is. Trying to see, and I'm not quite sure who that is right there. Anybody else see? Huh? What's going on, Antonio? Not sure who this is. Somebody's covered right there. Is that Neymar? Okay, you might be right. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right there, Droga. And then we got Professor X. I'm assuming this is Magneto right here. That's probably Magneto. And then, of course, why do I always forget his name? And it just always just like eludes me. Jesus. Yeah, and of course, when I'm live, my mind goes blank. Jeez. Okay, so Mystique. Yeah, Mystique's right there. Why can't I remember his name? Because somebody, Gambit. Jesus. All right. Sorry, my brain was going, oh, nope. Jesus Christ. Beast. And then look at that. This is the big one right here. When he shows up, when good old Cyclops shows up in his authentic Cyclops costume, that's going to have crowd cheers right there, for sure. For sure. And then, of course, we have Nightcrawler. We got John Walker right there. I'm assuming is that what's her name from also Ghost? Is that Ghost? I'm assuming. And then, of course, that's what's his name? I can't remember his name from his name is Miguel, right? Or is that his real name? But obviously from Captain America: Brave New World. And then, of course, we have Sentry. And then, who the fuck is this? I mean, I thought it was going to be, I don't know. Who's the little girl right here? You guys tell me. But it's funny how, like, Magneto is covered. Because that's 100% Magneto right there. Who's the little, it looks like a little girl. So who the hell is that? That's very interesting. Yeah, do you think it's Franklin? I don't know. It's not grown up. That's not a grown up person. That is not grown up. Do they have a daughter too? Yeah, it could be. Okay, do they also have a daughter too? Is that they're already going to incorporate that? Because I know like they do eventually have a daughter. So is that are they just bumping that up? They're just going to automatic. What's the daughter's name? I don't even know the daughter's name. Because there's no way that that's Franklin. That just didn't look like, it looked like that was more of a female. And then this was being passed around too. Could be AI. Who knows? I'm going to show it real quick. But What the F? What the F? Huh? Huh? What the? Huh? What are we doing here? What's that? What's going on? Is that Magneto's costume? What? It looks like Ant-Man's costume. It's probably fake. I don't want Kevin Feige to dive bomb this stream right here. I don't know. I don't know if this is real. I saw a certain account posted it, and they don't normally post fake things, but they got something handed to him. Who knows if it's actually real? It shows James Marsden, but then I'm looking at James Marsden's face. It doesn't, I don't know, maybe it's not, but he's got like, he's all messed up in the face. We have Robert Downey Jr. with the scarred face as well when it comes to Doctor Doom and everything. And then we got Ian McKellen in a Magneto costume, which looks kind of ridiculous. Marvel Studios did. And then we got Letitia Wright in her Black Panther costume. So, Valeria, Valaria, there we go. Okay. Could be her, but yeah. So that was interesting. So yeah, you get to see like a little bit of like some people are going to be in there. But yeah, the biggest thing that everybody was pointing out is the fact that James Marsden is going to be wearing that authentic Cyclops costume. And that's pretty damn awesome. I think we can all agree with that. That's going to be a crowd cheering moment, I think. And that's going to be a crowd cheering moment for everyone. How's the game going? Oh man, looks like the Lions are coming back. It's 21-21. Watch out, watch out. Watch out, watch out. All right. Tom Holland. Oh, Tom Holland. Tom Holland's doing too much. It seems like he's trying to do a little too much here, and it's not good, but apparently he's okay, but I'm sure you guys saw this as well. Tom Holland to return to Spider-Man set next week after injury. The film will shut down for a week rather than attempt to shoot without the star. Tom Holland will be taking a week off from the set of Spider-Man Brand New Day after suffering an injury on set Friday. Sony execs met on Monday to work out a plan to resume filming and determined the production will shut down for a week rather than attempt to shoot without Holland. It is not expected to impact, of course, the release date. As for Holland, his injury was described as a mild concussion, and he is taking a break out of an abundance of caution, insiders say. The actor was able to attend a charity event on Saturday for the Brothers Trust, which he runs with his brothers. So yeah. So apparently he cracked his head open. I don't know if he's got stitches or something, but he got a mild concussion, and apparently a stunt performer as well was taken to the hospital. So there was something that happened. It's probably some fight scene, some crazy fight scene, because God knows what Mr. Crenton is trying to do, because we know that guy can film some good goddamn fight choreography with what he did with Shang-Chi. And Tom Holland probably is trying to do as much as he can as Spider-Man, which he is really capable of doing. And yeah, maybe something, a wire something, I don't know. But there's going to be an investigation when it comes to that, because they have to do that. Like, who fucked up? What happened? Was it, somebody just messing up with the wires or something? Who knows? But that's what happens, though. That's the risk you take too, when the actor wants to do most of the stunts, and I'm sure Tom Holland is wanting to do most of the stunts. So hopefully he has a speedy recovery. It sounds like it's not really much of anything. Like I said, he was spotted at that event after it happened, and he looked fine. I don't know if anybody zeroed in. I don't know if he had a bandage on his head. I didn't look for any images when it came to that. So, he was there. Maybe they just had it covered or something. I don't know. He was at this event, and he looks perfectly fine right there. So, but I don't know if there's maybe a bandage, his hair is covering a bandage on the back of his head or something, or there were stitches. So yeah, nobody got an image of anything. So basically, from what I heard too, what happened is he cracked his head on the ground, was a little dazed, and then he started telling everybody spoilers for Avengers Doomsday. All right, moving on. Let's go to the box office. Box office this weekend was a little slow. You guys saw what movie I saw, what I saw, if you saw my first reaction. And, I didn't expect him to be some kind of box office darling, which it wasn't. it did, you know, I don't know what the budget is, but hey, here are the numbers right here. So Demon Slayer, of course, anime and everything still running strong. It's got a 75.5% drop from last weekend, though, which is funny because we always look at that. But that movie kicked ass in the opening. I mean, Jesus Christ. $555 million it's made already. This is why, I mean, anime just never die. Like, anime is never going to die. I've never gotten into anime, really. I don't mind it. But it's so crazy how anime is just like, wow. And then we got Him, which came out this weekend. Didn't really do international numbers. So 13.5 total right here. I'm not sure what the budget was. But yeah, I mean, it got mixed reviews. Movies just, you know, like I said, I liked it. I thought maybe the ending could have been a little bit better. But, you know, after discussing it on the Vodka stream, I was kind of going, yeah, it's one of those movies I definitely will watch again. So definitely watch it again. And of course, The Conjuring Last Rites keeps on going pretty strong. Only made for $55 million. And it's at $400 million right there. And then we had a couple other ones, which were, you know, we had the big, bold, beautiful Journey with Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie. That only made 7.7. That got some mixed reviews as well. There's this movie called The Senior, which I was like, which is about it's an Angel Studio one. It has Michael Chiklis, so yeah, not too much. And then we got the Leonardo DiCaprio movie that's going to be coming out this weekend, which I'll talk about those reviews on Wednesday's show. As someone who doesn't really watch sports, I dig some anime sports shows. Interesting. Anime and horror is what brings asses to the theater. It's crazy how that is. And I'm just like, if Jimmy Guns of DC Studios is going to do some animation stuff, just make it an anime. I'll put some butts in the seats for freaking sure. Because that shit just no matter what, like the anime just never has gone away. It's never gone away. All right. Oh, I did forget to say that. All right, let's Mandalorian. How do you spell? All right, Jesus. All right, I haven't watched this trailer yet, guys. Have not watched the trailer for Mandalorian, The Mandalorian, Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu. Only in theaters. May 22nd. This is the way. If you're searching for a new adventure, this is the way. I mean, it's not a terrible poster. It's not. But they were definitely trying to do like a Indiana Jones old school type of poster right there. It's fine. It's whatever. It's just, that's a hell of a border it has. I don't know. The border is too big. I don't like the border. I don't like the border too much. But anyways, here we go. I haven't watched the trailer yet. I've seen people talk about it, and I've seen some mixed reviews out there. So let's go ahead and watch this trailer. Let me react to it and see what the hell is going on with the guy with the off Boba Fett helmet, who's voiced by Pedro Pascal but not acted by Pedro Pascal, and the little cute guy. Cute. Hey, the woman that just ages like a fine wine. Let's see some Grogu swimming, huh?
Impressive.
The AT-ATs.
Good shot, baby.
Oh boy. Yeah, that doesn't really look cinematic, does it? I mean, it looks like the show. It looks like we just watched a little teaser for the next season of The Mandalorian. There's just something that just doesn't feel like, oh, I mean, maybe like when it comes to some of the visual effects, like some of it looks a little sharper than maybe, I don't know, but it just looked like we just watched a trailer for the next season of Mandalorian. Didn't really, I don't know, there was nothing there that was like, you could tell there's going to be a lot of action, there's going to be a lot of, adventure when it comes to this, but I don't know. I'll still watch it, of course, but it's just, I don't know, it just didn't feel like, like when we first saw the first teaser trailer for Force Awakens or something. This is the first Star Wars movie since Rise of Skywalker, right? It's the first Star Wars movie that we've seen since Rise of Skywalker. And even that, when you saw the trailer for that, that felt cinematic. That didn't feel cinematic. This just felt like, whatever. Uh-oh, we got Lizard Man. It's woke trash. What was woke about that? What, do you not like little green guys? Too many green guys for you there, Lizard Man? You know? I mean, what's going on? What else was in there? What, the AT-ATs, because they're white and they were going down? That offended you? I mean, what was woke about that? What the hell? Oh, is it because Pedro Pascal, is not white? Is that what it is? You don't even see his face. It's going to be okay, man. I'm so tired of when people say, it's woke. Like, what is woke about it? I think you just naturally feel that way. People just naturally feel that way. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm still going to watch it, but I just didn't really feel, it felt like it just didn't feel like it was a movie. Just didn't feel like it was a movie. It just felt like it was another season. Trailer to another season, but I'm still going to go see it. Hopefully it's good. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just the fact that it's supposed to be a movie. Because I do like the series. I mean, yeah, the last season was kind of hit or miss, but hey, whatever. But, so I'll be okay with that. All right, what do we got? Okay, I'm going to go to Twitter for some questions. All right. See what you guys are saying over here on Twitter. All right, Eric. Hey, Dave. While yes, Paramount is the most likely to end up buying Warner Brothers, that aside, I'd much rather prefer that Netflix, even as a Snyder fan. No, that would be terrible, because let's be honest, Netflix thinks movie theaters have the cooties. Wait. Am I reading this right? It said, like, Paramount is the most like. Okay, I'm reading that wrong. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I was reading that thing wrong. I thought you were in favor of Netflix. No. Paramount is the most likely to end up buying WB. That aside, I'd much rather prefer that to Netflix. Yeah, okay, that's where I read it wrong. I thought you said, like, I was like, what? I was a bit like, Eric, how dare you? But you're good. Even as a Snyderverse fan, because let's be honest, Netflix thinks, yeah, exactly. That was the main thing that I was saying, is the fact that you want no Warner Brothers movies to be out in theaters, or only be out in theaters for like a weekend or something like that. I was like, no. That's why I'm like, but of course those guys don't give a shit about that, because they just give a shit about their precious little hashtags and campaigns, and they want Zack Snyder to make DC movies until he's 90. Cooper Knox, do you think any of these restore the Snyderverse, sell the Snyderverse people ever stopped and asked themselves if this is what Zack really wants? No, they don't. They just assume that because, in interviews when Zack gets asked, he goes, yeah, he'll just, he just quickly just answers, and stuff. And even though in a more in-depth interview, he said that if he were to come back to DC, he'd want to do the Dark Knight Returns actual adaptation. That's his white whale. I've talked to the man personally as well as publicly. I could tell you that when it came to this, it was like his ultimate mic drop. And I've said that. It's his mic drop. Because, I've said it before and I'll say it again, that I asked him if after the Snyder Cut came out and they wanted to do more, would he do more? He said that he wouldn't be able to, because he'd be too busy, because he hadn't pitched Rebel Moon yet, he had Army of the Dead, he had so many things lined up, but he was perfectly willing to have anybody take the reins. Like if they were going to do a series, there'd be other people directing each episode or whatever the fuck. But of course, those guys, they wouldn't believe that. They 100% think that he would do it for us. But, you know, I think Zach just wants to make his own shit. Devin Wooter, hello, Dave. I know this will never happen, but it'd be hilarious if James Gunn has Henry Cavill as Brainiac. Do you think, that would, I don't know. Well, that would be pretty crazy, to be honest. Maybe he could pull it off. He's got a pretty good voice. And if you were to have a little bit of that accent, you know, I wouldn't hate that. I still think he'd be a better Vandal Savage, though. Do you think Jake Gyllenhaal is a perfect for Batman? No, I do not. I just watched Pirates of the Caribbean and World's End. What's your favorite scene from that movie? I know there's a lot, but everybody always talks about how great the visual effects were on Davy Jones. I don't know how many times I see that. I see that like every couple of weeks, where everybody talks about how great the visual effects were for Davy Jones and all the squid stuff. Versus Seed, Casual Batman will return to ABC tomorrow. Fuck yeah, Casual Batman. Casual Batman will host the late show. I need to, that fucker needs to come back, doesn't he? Paul, do you think Doomsday will be a two-parter or just ride into another film? Because I don't think Dr. D will die in the first film. Well, it's probably going to lead into Secret Wars. I assume that they're kind of go hand in hand, that they're going to. I mean, they have to. It's probably going to be a 3-hour movie for sure. Joshua G, hey Dave, I was thinking instead of revealing Brainiac at the end of PeaceMaker, what if he's revealed in the finale of Lanterns, considering it would deal with more threats of space? Yeah, that could be it, but then again, like I said, we have those pocket universe things, and I don't know, we got some crazy things that are going on in there. I don't know, it's I mean, you could be onto something. There could be something. I don't, but I'm kind of wondering, because that's what's going to be interesting about next year. Again, is how much are Lanterns? How much is Clayface? How much is Lanterns and Clayface going to connect to the DCU? We know that Supergirl is going to have a significant connection, obviously, since we already saw her at the end of Superman and saw her in PeaceMaker. We know that's going to be pretty significant. And I think, obviously, with that story being out in the cosmos, that's also going to help with the Man of Tomorrow story and Brainiac. So, because she's going to probably have a role in it. I'm pretty sure that Supergirl is going to have a pretty significant role in Man of Tomorrow. Not just going to be a scene. Maybe it'll be a couple of scenes, or I don't know. Maybe she'll show up halfway through the movie. I don't know. But I'm just curious how much Lanterns and Clayface, Clayface has so many goddamn Easter eggs with all their Gotham set pieces that obviously they're just laying that stuff up. But what is there anything that's going to be mentioned, or what's going to be the connective tissue? That's the question I have when it comes to that. So Cavill's Brainiac would be wild. He would definitely pull it off. I like Matt Smith. Yeah, I think Matt Smith would actually be a really good choice, to be honest. All right, it's a 21-20. Yeah, it's 21-21 still. Looks like we got ourselves a game here, folks. All right, guys. That is the show. That is the show. Why does that seem so low? All right. Hit that like, thumbs up. Subscribe. Obviously, follow me on all the sock meds that are down there. I'm mainly active on Twitter. Uh-oh. Lions just scored. Wow. That's quite a game. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Post-show, of course, on Patreon. If you subscribe to the Patreon, much appreciated. Helping out that pirate ship. Trying to put more stuff on there. And it's a slow process, of course, but I do a post-show that I'll be posting on there tonight. So look forward to that. And, yeah, have a good Tuesday. I'll see you guys on Wednesday, and we'll talk more DCU stuff and whatever. And then we'll talk some reviews for the box office this week. And, all right, guys, love you. Talk to you later.